Welcome to Fall Protection, which is going to be geared towards just an overview of every industry that there is, so we cover all of our bases. I'm Markus Wesaw. I will be the instructor for this course, and as always, my information is listed right there on the screen for you, so if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at your discretion. Let's go over the fall protection objectives. Firstly, I want you to understand the fall protection requirements pertain to the nature and type of work that an employee is doing. Okay? So there are different standards based on different work duties, different work types. I want you to know the different regulatory fall protection requirements for your industry. So I want you to think about what the fall protection requirements are for what your scope of work is. I want you to be able to list 3 categories of fall protection and understand when fall protection is required. Let's begin. What we aim to cover in this module is what is fall protection, what type of work requires fall protection, and at what heights is fall protection required. Now, many of you might have been exposed to different fall protection requirements in your careers. Some of you may say, well, when I worked for this company, it was 4 feet. When I worked for that company, it was 5 feet. And one of the important things I believe you should note as we move through this is that every company can make fall protection requirements more stringent if they deem that appropriate. And so that's one of the issues that I see a lot of throughout all kinds of industries. And so what I'm going to do is present you with the OSHA requirements on certain fall protection standards, and then you can make up your own mind in how you go about addressing the fall protection issue. So the purpose of fall protection is to either prevent a fall before it occurs or stop a fall after it occurs. Okay, or rather that sudden stop at the end that everyone worries about. So there are 3 categories of fall protection that we can agree on. Firstly, we have restraint systems. Restraint systems literally prevent a fall from occurring. Then we have fall arrest systems, which they're designed to stop a person after they fall, and what these systems do is they kind of absorb the shock of the fall. And so that's kind of one of their purposes as well. Then what we have finally, the 3rd category, is positioning device systems, which is designed to keep a person in a certain position, and it'll stop a fall within 2 feet. So it's likely not going to have any shock absorption properties there. What is fall protection and when is it required? So I'm going to define for you what fall protection is. Fall protection means a personal fall protection equipment worn by employees working at heights, safety nets, catch platforms, warning lines, and guardrails, along with elevated surfaces. Fall protection of some type, usually guardrails, which is an engineering control, is required when employees work at a height of 4 feet or more in all workplaces. So that's your typical general industry standard there. Now in construction, personal fall protection equipment or equivalent protection is required when workers are at heights of 10 or more feet. In general, for general work in construction, however, it's 6 feet. The 10 feet or more standard applies to specific work, such as work on scaffolds. In some types of work or industries, fall protection is specified at different heights, and that's what we're going to discuss. We're not going to tell you to memorize all these. I want you to really just pick out the fall protection standards that apply to your industry, and we'll go from there. And so, depending on the circumstances or type of work, here is an outline of what's typically required. So, fall protection is required at 0 feet. Doesn't matter how high you are. If you are working adjacent to dangerous equipment, pickling or galvanized tanks, degreasing units, or similar hazardous equipment. Furthermore, in general industry, and that's most industries, 4 feet or more. So anytime you have the potential to fall greater than 4 feet, then some type of fall protection or fall prevention would be required. On offshore platforms, shipbuilding and repair, 5 feet, 6 feet for general construction work, 8 feet for longshoring, 10 feet for scaffolding if you're working in construction, and 30 feet for connecting and decking for steel erection, which is another construction standard. And so that being said, we'll go ahead and conclude this overview there, and we'll come back to part 1 when that is more convenient. And if you have any questions so far, feel free to contact me at your discretion.